everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you're having a happy day. Today, we're going to chat a little bit about the Meg and the first lie she ever told. Perhaps. In a recent video I will link for you guys, I asked you at the end of it if you wanted me to react to the engagement video because I never watched the engagement interview, so I am going to do that. I just need to research like if I'm allowed to embed it and show clips of it in my video or if I'm gonna have to just make my own reaction video and discuss it with you guys after watching it. I'm looking into it. But anyway, you guys can look forward to that video. It will come out eventually. But in the meantime, it reminded me of something that I read about Meghan way back at the beginning that sent some red flags early on. Meghan Markle claimed not to know who Harry was before she started dating him. And she also later claimed that she never Googled him. And both of those things are so wildly unbelievable, especially this day and age, that they immediately put people off to her from the start, including myself. I thought that was super weird and eyebrow-raising that she would lie like that, because it's such an obvious and blatant lie. So I'm not positive if I didn't know who Harry was beforehand. I've heard the quote, I just asked my friend if he was nice or not, because that wouldn't make sense. I think that was in the engagement interview. I've only ever read it in an article that she had said those things. So I didn't look it up because I didn't want to spoil the engagement interview for myself for the video. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments that that was something she said way back at the very beginning in the engagement interview or not. If I'm wrong about that, just fill me in, you guys, because again, I haven't watched it and I didn't want to spoil it. But I did read the quotes. And they're just, it's so unbelievable that she didn't know who Harry was. I mean, really, it set the wrong tone with the public right from the start, and I'm not sure why Harry allowed her to say this. Maybe it made him feel special or something, like he had found somebody who didn't know anything about him that he could tell whatever he wanted to. I don't know what it was or why this has gone on. In fact, it indicates just the opposite, that she did know him and perhaps sought him out with too much intention, too purposefully. I mean, wearing Diana's perfume on the first date, those types of things, you know, those creepy details. And perhaps she wanted to cover her tracks a little bit and try to claim the opposite of what was true. She was clueless of him and Diana and the whole situation. I mean, what? The rumors have come out over the years that she was extremely intentional in her approach to getting with Harry. She went to great lengths to change her personal image to one that's more humanitarian and to get herself into circles that would align with Harry and finally get her way into this blind date to meet Harry. These sort of fluff humanitarian photo shoots are what I'm talking about. She was really only pursuing those things for a very narrow period of time before she was with Harry. And that sort of slinking into certain groups through Soho House and stuff like that was something that she began to do, in a lot of people's opinion, with the intent of getting with Harry. So it's really rather methodical and even manipulative in some people's view. And now, regardless of whether or not she sought him out like a torpedo, if she wanted to make it seem like she didn't aggressively seek him out, she should have gone with something a little bit more middle of the road. Not complete opposite end of the spectrum of, I had no idea who he even was. That's so unbelievable, it's laughable. She said so many other things that were basically saying she didn't know much about him, but instead she went all the way, full force, I had no idea who he even was. Which really gives the sense that she was just covering up a much more intentional campaign to land him fast. Who on earth didn't know who Harry was? At least when it comes to like North America and Europe. Like everybody knows who Harry is and was since he was a child. It's insane to imply anything different. Literally no one grown did not know who he was in those regions of the world at least, and Australia too. So it's just foolish of her. But she didn't stop there, oh no. Years later, she said she never even Googled him. Even once the relationship was going forward. No Googling. Amongst a population of people who Google everything. Too much, far too much. We Google literally the most unnecessary things. It's insane, but we do it, all of us do. She was very online, VVO. She would be in the category of a frequent Googler, for sure. She didn't Google him. Nonsense. Of course she did. I Google my kids' teachers, I Google coaches, I Google my neighbors. I mean, come on. Nobody this day and age doesn't Google the person that they're dating at least once. It's not just curiosity, it's personal safety. But it's really normal now. It's very, very normal and common to Google people. It's common to Google the person you're dating, person you want to date. It's common to Google literally anybody and everybody. People do it all the time. For her to say that she never Googled him was so unbelievable. My eyes almost got stuck from rolling so hard. It was ridiculous. These comments immediately put a cloud over her of distrust because 0 people who heard that believed it. Literally 0. That would be so dumb. So dumb. Which means making those lies is the most dumb. It's the worst way she could have handled this. What would have been normal and relatable to say would have been to say that, of course I knew him from afar, but I avoided looking into things and reading stuff about him because I wanted to get to know him for myself and let him share his story with me on his own. Instead of, what did she say? Everything I needed to know he was telling me, right? When someone punctuates a sentence with right, it drives me nuts because it feels very manipulative. It feels like you're trying to, linguistically especially, but like in general, that you're trying to get the person to agree with you. It's the same as when you nod your head when you're saying something like, yes, isn't that right? No, what, is it right? I don't know. You're telling me something. How am I supposed to know if it's right or not, or true or not? That doesn't make sense. Or she could have been even more relatable and said, oh, well, yes, of course, guilty, I did Google him, but it was for an innocent reason. You know, say that it was something like wanting to check on when his birthday was because you wanted to get him a gift or something like that. She could have played it off like that. Or something like, I think we all Google who we date now, don't we? Because that's normal. But I didn't want to read too much about him. I didn't want to see articles about him because I felt like it would interfere or it wouldn't be fair to him. So if I had questions, I would just ask him myself instead of being tempted to Google it. Or even saying she avoided Googling on purpose because she didn't want to see like pictures or news articles about him and an ex. It could have been anything that would have been more sensible than absolute hard no, never Googled the man in my life. Ridiculous. Something like that would have been normal and relatable and it wouldn't have sent up red flags, even if, like I said, she played it off a little bit or said, yeah, no, I really avoided Google, but didn't just do a hard no. If she would have done like literally anything else, it would have come off so much better and more believable than what she did. It was a bad lie. It was a big bad lie. It gave a really bad impression and it tarnished her image forever as not being somebody who would be truthful about these types of things because nobody believed that. It was one of the first lies that I saw in the news and immediately clocked as a lie and was like, that's definitely not true. 100% not true. When she again doubled down on it and said she'd never even Googled the man, I think that was in the Oprah interview, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Again, I had the same reaction. Why would you lie like that about something so trivial? And this is what narcissistic types of people tend to do, or really grandiose types of people. And I'm not saying narcissists or NPD, okay? Don't come for me in the comments because narcissism is a range, a sliding scale. We all have some degree of narcissism. It's part of our survival. Some people are very high in narcissism, so much so that they have a disorder, NPD, but most people are not that extreme. But people who are high in narcissism is what we're talking about here. And those types of people will often make really silly, grandiose lies about something trivial that doesn't really matter in the long run. Like, for example, they'll lie about where they ate or what brand their clothes are. They'll just lie about silly little things that don't really matter. It's something that a lot of times, like especially like a pathological liar, can't really control, and they just do it all the time and they don't even think about it, and they're just saying whatever they want to in that moment that they think is going to get them some degree of an advantage. The advantage that Meghan Markle was going for was to be seen as somebody who didn't seek him out, like I said, like a torpedo, like just really with direct intention and following him any which way he may have turned until she landed him. She didn't want to come off that way. And I can understand that, you know, when you're gonna be marrying a high profile figure, or in this case, a prince, that a lot of people might say, oh yeah, I bet she really went after him. And you wouldn't necessarily want that. That would feel icky and not nice, especially if it weren't true. But if it were true, it would be triggering enough to get you to lie about it, probably. Just saying. It makes sense to not want to be seen as somebody who did purposefully seek him out or be manipulative. But that's where, you know, a normal person would just not be manipulative, you know, not wear Diana's perfume, not do certain things like fluff humanitarian work or stuff like that to try to enhance your likelihood of appealing to the man. She could have just gone with somewhere in between. That wasn't an extreme and dramatic lie, but something that was just more believable, a little more honest, but still helped her to save face. So much has come out about her pursuit of him, her relationship ending, maybe even after she had already met Prince Harry. All these sorts of things have come out, and it does make her look manipulative. So that's probably why she made those lies. But if she were truly smart and truly wanted things to work out, or just simply didn't want to be seen as somebody who did those things, then she should have paid attention to how it would come across to the public, which is something that she really tends to struggle with, and so does Harry. But no matter, I think way back then, some of those things were the first tones set by the couple that were alarming or uncomfortable for a lot of people. So when I do the engagement interview, I'm prepared for a lot of uncomfortable moments. But it also goes to show that right from the start, these types of red flags were going up before anybody even knew her. And the fact that she still was getting glowing press for a very long time, and a lot of people were still supportive of them for a very long time, just shows the extent of the benefit of the doubt that was offered to her, that she rejected wholeheartedly. What do you guys think? Please leave it in the comments. I absolutely love reading the discussions that you guys have there. And if you liked today's video, please let me know, as well as click the like button if you enjoyed it. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. I hope you didn't mind this little short bonus video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye!